Well, good morning. Hope you're having a great week so far. It is Wednesday, October 27th, and it is 10:32 a.m. local time, Pacific Daylight Time here in California. I am just north of Lathrop, California. I'm in between Lathrop and Sacramento at a little mom and pop truck stop. There's not a lot of parking in the Sacramento area, especially free parking. It's almost all paid parking. So I made a delivery in Rancho Cordova, basically Sacramento, this morning. And after I made the delivery, I came down to this truck stop, and I'm sitting here looking for a load and thinking that maybe I might just crash out for the day. I'm really tired. I basically started driving. Well, I woke up yesterday at, well, it'd take me forever to explain all that. I've been on a really weird schedule, and I haven't slept very much in the last 24 hours. So I was thinking about maybe just going to sleep and looking for a load tomorrow. The loads tend to get better closer to Friday, and I took a multi-stop load, which I normally do not touch multi-stop loads. But I took a multi-stop load to get over to California so that I could get some really awesome load out of here. And I'm not gonna take like some half-ass load. So I'm waiting for a really good one. But for anybody who didn't watch the video on my last load, what it was, the one that I just finished, it was I was at home for 2 weeks, and the load that I booked to leave the house on picked up in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So let me pull up a map. Switch this over to the browser. For anybody who doesn't know where in the hell Fort Smith, Arkansas is at. Come on, map. Alright, so I live in Oklahoma City. Fort Smith, Arkansas is straight east on I-40, just across the border into Arkansas. So I drove 180 miles deadhead from Oklahoma City to Fort Smith, picked up a preloaded trailer. It was Ream commercial HVAC units, big, commercial units. Picked that up, left Fort Smith, drove up through Tulsa, cut across Tulsa to 35, drove up to Salina, Kansas. So up here in Salina, Kansas, where the 135 intersects with the 70, I took a 10-hour break. Then I drove over to Oakley, Kansas, and got the trailer that I just picked up DOT inspected because some awesome person dropped a trailer at Ream that was due for an inspection, and it was almost a month overdue for an inspection whenever I picked it up. So then I went ahead and continued driving and made it all the way to Denver in that drive shift. I stopped at the Love's just on the east side of Denver. It's in Bennett right here. This Love's travel stop. Got there Saturday morning at like 1 a.m. I was there for 29 hours. And then Monday morning I had 2 deliveries in Denver. They were both over on the east side of Denver. One was one was really easy to get to, right off the 70. The second one I had to take the 235 down to the south side of Denver. I forget exactly. It was down here in Centennial. And delivered that one. And then after that I drove up to the TA, which is in central Denver, off the 225. Or is it the 270? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's off the 270. It's in here somewhere. I'm not going to sit here and spend 20 minutes trying to find out exactly where it's at. But there's a TA truck stop in here somewhere. So I drove up there, topped off fuel, And I had 9 hours of drive time left after making those deliveries and topping off fuel. So I left out of Denver, drove up to Cheyenne, Wyoming, got on the 80, and then took the 80 all the way across Wyoming. And I ended that drive shift in Dell, Utah. Which is, where in the hell is Dell? Right here it is. Dell, Utah. So I was able to drive through Salt Lake City and drove a little ways, about an hour past Salt Lake City, and stopped in Dell, Utah. It's like some kind of, let me take you in and show you the map. It's like a drag strip or something. It's a racetrack. So I think they do drag racing or something here. And they have this huge parking lot. This is actually a paved lot. This is not dirt. It's in poor condition, but it's a paved lot. It's an enormous paved lot. There was tons of space available when I got there. But that is where I stopped at the end of my second drive shift. And then on my third drive shift, I was 10 hours away from my delivery. I could have driven all the way from Dell to my delivery in Rancho Cordova. It was 10 hours away, but I didn't want to be driving into Sacramento at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I did was I drove over to Mill City, right here in Nevada, to the TA in Mill City. It was only a 5-hour drive. I stopped there, took a 10, woke up, took a shower, and then about 9 o'clock at night, last night, I started driving, and I drove the remaining 5 hours to Rancho Cordova. And I got there at about, actually I didn't get there till about 3 a.m. It took almost 6 hours to get there because there was some drama. I had some psycho that was following me around, and I ended up having to call Highway Patrol, and I sat at the rest area for over 30 minutes. Whenever I left Mill City and started my drive, whenever I got on the interstate behind this truck, the psycho. And he was going slower than me, which was odd because I set my cruise at 65, and the speed limit is like 80 miles an hour. So it's kind of odd to be catching up with another truck at that speed. But I was catching up with it slowly. It was going maybe 1 mile per hour, maybe 2 miles per hour slower than me. And then all of a sudden, he drops down to like 58 miles per hour. He's going like over 5 miles an hour slower than me. He or she, I don't know which it is. So I went out and passed, got in front of him, and then they sped back up and just started riding behind me. And that went on for an hour of this person just riding behind me. And I got tired of it. So I slowed down to 55 to let them go around me. And they slowed down to 55 with me. I had my cruise at 55 for probably 20 minutes. And they were just sitting behind me. I don't know why they were following me. But then I sped up to 75 and set my cruise at 75. And I was able to get about 2 miles ahead of them before they realized how fast I was going. But then they sped up to about 80 to 85 miles an hour and caught back up to me while I was doing 75. By this time, I was just outside Reno, Nevada. This person's been following me, and I've been changing speeds and doing all kinds of stuff to get away from them. And right here at a rest area, the Wadsworth rest area, I pulled into the rest area to let them go around me. And they followed me into the rest area. As soon as I came to a stop in the rest area, I hopped out and grabbed my tire thumper out of the side box and then got back in the driver's seat. And I was sitting there in the driver's seat ready for them if they came up to the truck. I don't know why in the hell they were following me. But let me show you what this rest area looks like. It just has parking along the left side here. And I parked at the very last spot that was open back here. It was all wide open back here. And I parked in a spot back here. And this person parked right behind me. So whenever whenever I got back into the truck, locked the door, I immediately picked up the phone and dialed 911. Got a hold of Highway Patrol. Highway Patrol was on their way out there. And after 20 minutes of sitting there at the rest area, that person finally went around me and left. And I canceled the call with Highway Patrol. I don't know what in the world was going on. It's really kind of terrifying when somebody follows you into a rest area. If I were not, a decent sized guy that I felt could defend myself, then there's no way in hell I would have come to a stop with somebody following me around like that. Unless it was like an open way station and I would have stopped right in front of the damn scale, gotten out of the truck and been like, that some bitch is chasing me down, he's following me, get him. But yeah, aside from that, what really sucks is it was an absolutely beautiful, amazing drive. One of the reasons that I took this load was I used to drive I-80 across Nevada and Northern California all the time when I was a truck driver 15 years ago. So one of the reasons I took this load was because of nostalgia. And I had to deal with some fucking lunatic following me across Nevada. Half my drive across Nevada, it was just some fucking lunatic, and I'm having to call Highway Patrol on him. I don't understand people, man. There's a lot of people out there with some serious mental issues. But anyway, that is one of the reasons. That's the main reason I was so late. Also, there was a lot of the roads going across Donner Pass were not icy or anything. Yeah, there was some ice and snow on some. There was patchy ice and snow in certain sections of the road, but for the most part, it was just the roads were soaking wet. There was snow piled up on the sides of the road, and it had melted during the day, and the roads were just soaking wet from all the melted snow, and some of it was refreezing. So I went across Donner pretty slow, and that added to my time. But yeah, I got over here to Rancho Cordova, right here in this area of Sacramento, and parked out at the receiver. I parked in what I thought was their dock. Ended up, it was not their dock. It was somebody else's dock. They're in a building. Let me show you. Let me try to remember. I think it was off Mather. right here, and then I took a left on Croydon. This is it, RSD Refrigeration. So this is the place, RSD Refrigeration Supplies. This is where I delivered. And I thought that this big dock right here was theirs. These are all docks right here. There's like 6 or 7 docks or something. But they're not normal docks. They're not at the proper height or anything. So, and not all of them are used for docks. They have bumpers set up on only like 2 or 3 of the spots, and they have ramps set up at 2 or 3 of the spots. Well, I parked in front of the one that I thought they were going to have me unload at. And I'm laying in my truck up in bed looking through the load board, and I got somebody banging on my door, and I get down, I'm out there, and they're like, "You're going to have to move." I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm here to deliver." He said, "Who are you delivering?" And I said, "RSD right there." And he said, "This isn't their dock." I'm like, "What do you mean this isn't their dock?" He said, "This is our dock. We need it." And the person was like Asian, and I'm trying to convey what they were trying to convey to me. I could not understand them. And I just got really confused, and I was like, all right. And I closed the door, put my shoes on, and then I got out and walked over there and talked with him. And he said that all those docks were for his company, which I don't know what in the hell his company is. There was some kind of food distribution company, and they had a truck that they were trying to unload, and they were using one of the other docks that had ramps right next to me, but the ramps weren't as nice as the one that I was parked in front of. The one I was parked in front of was like their main unloading dock, and they were trying to use the one next to me, and the ramps weren't quite at the right height, and they were using pallet jacks to take the stuff off, and they couldn't get the stuff off using the pallet jacks because it wasn't at the right height, because they were really shitty ramps. It was just like some 2x4s that were nailed together. And the ramps that I was backed in front of were like real ramps. They were like metal fabricated ramps. So I was like, "Do you know where RSD's dock's at?" And he said, "It's on the other side of the building." And I was like, "All right, thanks. Sorry, I'll get out of your way." So I hopped back in my truck, and I pulled out of the dock right here, and I drove over, and I parked right here. This is the entrance to the other side of the building, but it's gated. So I parked right here and waited for them to open up that gate at about 6:30 in the morning, and then I pulled in, and this down here is RSD's docks. And I got backed in there, and they got me unloaded like an hour early. I was backed in at about 6:30, and they were like, "All right, we'll be out there," because I saw them. They were all showing up for work, and I was like, "Hey, which one of these 2 docks are you guys going to want me in?" And they told me which one. And I was like, "All right, cool." And they said, "Well, all right, we'll be out there today at 8." And I was like, "All right, thanks." So I went ahead and popped open the doors and backed into that dock, and they unloaded me at like 7 a.m. They were out there pretty quick, got me unloaded. They were really cool. Signed all my paperwork, made copies, and then I left there and drove down to where I'm at right now. So I left there, went across the 50, hopped on the 99, and took the 99 down to pretty sure I went past Galt. I don't think I went that far south. Right here. Jahant Food and Fuel Stop. So that's where I drove down from Rancho Cordova over to the 50 on the 99, and then drove down to here. It's somewhere around 30 miles, maybe 35 miles. And that's where I'm at right now. They got a little store right here, a couple of diesel pumps. They have a really nice restaurant right here that has a lot of really good Google reviews, but it did not survive the lockdowns. I'm pretty sure it went out of business during the lockdowns, is what they said in the Google reviews. It's Mills Diner or something like that. And I walked over there and looked to see if like they were opening up today or anything. And you can tell that like there hasn't been anybody working in there in a while. There's shit laying on the floor, and it's in disrepair. So yeah, one of the places that went out of business during the lockdown, they didn't survive the lockdown. But I heard they were really awesome. And I'm parked basically right here, like this spot right here, I think is the spot that I'm in. That's where I'm parked at right now, waiting on a load. Now let's check out the load board. You see this load up here at the very top, Lathrop, California to Wixom, Michigan. I'm really close to Lathrop, California. And it's going to Detroit, Michigan. I don't want to go to Detroit, Michigan, but this thing's paying a lot of money. They originally listed the load for $10,000, and then within like an hour, they reposted it for $13,500. Let's see if the load's still there. It is. This load is not covered yet. That's really surprising. So I called on the load, and I got a hold of somebody who said that they were just really busy today, and she was just taking phone calls she was taking overflow calls, and she couldn't answer any of my questions, like, is the weight correct? What is this load? What is it? She couldn't answer basic questions. So she transferred me over to somebody else, and I was like, yeah, I'm calling on the Lathrop to Wixom, Michigan load. What I was told that it's a power only. What am I pulling on this? And they said it's a customer trailer. And I said, what kind of trailer? Like, and she like couldn't answer that question. I was like, well, is the weight accurate? And she said, yeah, it should be. And I said, the weight's like 1,500 pounds. How is that accurate? And she said, well, it should just be the trailer. I said, okay. So there's nothing in it. And she's like, I don't think so. I was like, all right, well, you can't, like, I didn't know what to say. She couldn't answer any of my fucking questions. So she said, and the other thing is, I said, so this is a customer trailer. Does that mean that you guys don't have an empty for me to pick up? I'm going to have to give up my trailer to pick this thing up. And whenever I drop it off, are you guys going to have an empty available for me, or am I going to have to, like, get on the trailer watch list? And she said, we don't have an empty for you. And I said, okay. And then she couldn't answer the rest of my questions. She said that she would try to find answers for my questions. And she asked me if I was interested in the load. And I said, nah, just forget about it. Like, I got tired of going around in circles with multiple people over there at this agency. They can't answer any of my basic questions. And then I really don't want to deal with trailer utilization. I don't want to give up my trailer and then have to sit around for an unknown amount of time and then deadhead for an unknown distance to get an empty. I mean, it's paying a really good rate for the load, $13,500. I also don't want to fucking go to Detroit. I don't want to go to Detroit. I don't like going past Chicago up in the Northeast. So let's take a look here. So if I take this load, I'd be going right back across 80. And I would basically just take 80 all the way to Detroit. Well, I'd probably hop on the 94. I'd take the 80 all the way into Chicago, and then hop on the 94 and take it over to Detroit. Not really wanting to go to Detroit. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Let's look at the national forecast real quick. All right, today we have snow in Utah and Wyoming, around Salt Lake and Evanston, Wyoming. And then down around Laramie, they're getting snow. Tomorrow, nothing. And then nothing. So today, all I would do is drive it probably back up to Mill City. I wouldn't make it over here until tomorrow. So the weather would be amazing for pretty much the entire drive. Yeah, I would be driving through areas that recently got snow, but it shouldn't be that bad. Huh. So the weather is good for this load. Let's refresh. Should I take this load? I really don't want to run up to Detroit. And I would probably have to contact trailer utilization and let them know that I'm dropping the trailer. They may want me to drop it somewhere specific. I've never dealt with, having to drop a trailer to pick up a load. Oh my goodness. Should I take it? I mean, I could stop at the Iowa 80 truck stop on the way there. I mean, if it's a light load, if it's like a really light load, I don't mind too terribly much driving across 80. 80 is a lot of mountains. I'm just really dreading 13,500. Let's see what the percentage cut on that is without any fuel surcharge. So I would make $8,775 on that load without any fuel surcharge. Let's do it. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm calling about the load from Lathrop, California to Wixom, Michigan. Is it still available? All right, thank you. Bye. It's covered. They just haven't removed it from the board yet. Well, that's good because now I don't have to worry about taking that load. Because what I really want is a load going down the 90. I want to pick up something here in Stockton, Lathrop area, Tracy. Let's go over to a different map. Let's mark where I'm at. So I want to pick up something in this Stockton area right here. And I want to go down the 99 or possibly the 5 and then cut across on the 58. I don't know. Maybe not the 58. I would prefer to go all the way down to the I-10. What the route that I was thinking of to get to 10 is take either the 99 or the 5 down to the 58, take the 58 over to the 40, take the 40 over to past Kingman, and this 93 right here, take this 93 down to Phoenix and hit the 10 in Phoenix, because this 93 is a nice divided highway. It's the best cut across that I could find to get down to the 10 from the 5 or the 99 to bypass LA. That was the best I could find. So that's the route that I'm really wanting to take, and I'm wanting to go across the 10 over into I was hoping to get a load for about 10 grand going to Texas. Refresh this and see if they've removed. There we go. They finally removed the load. All right, so let's do new since last search. Stockton to Coleman, Alabama. No, I'm not taking a cheaper load than what I brought to California. There are not as many $8,000 plus loads on the board as there were whenever I was looking at this market. Whenever I was talking about this market, you know, I was talking about the entire West Coast in a couple of videos ago. And the entire West Coast, from Seattle all the way down to San Diego, there were over 1,000. I think there were over 1,100 loads over $8,000. There are not nearly as many now. Now, I will say that my search filters are fairly strict. So there are a lot more loads over $8,000 than just these right here. It's just that I don't want to see loads that are 45,000 pounds. I'm not hauling that crap. I don't want to do, 15 stop loads. And I don't want to mess with hazmat. There's a whole bunch of stuff I don't want to mess with. You know what? Oh, we just got a Atlanta, Georgia. Oh my God, do I want to go all the way to Atlanta? It's not paying the greatest rate per mile. Why is this damn thing not showing up in my search results? This has got to be a team load. It's not marked as a team load. It's not showing up in my list here. It's $9,000 going to Atlanta. Visalia to Atlanta. Why is it showing up on the app, but it's not showing up on here? Let me look through. I don't even know if a team could do this load. It's a 200-mile deadhead. Where the hell is Visalia? What the hell? Why isn't this showing up? Picks up today by 3 p.m. and delivers tomorrow by 3 p.m. I'm pretty sure even a team can't do that. So I think that the delivery date is just fictitious. It's deliver whenever you can get there. There are no extra stops. It's not hazmat. It's not team. It's only 20,000 pounds. 53-foot van. The rate per mile is $3.99. The line haul is $9,000. Let me pause this and I want to change my search. Alright. I had my search radius set down to only 150 miles around Stockton. That's why it wasn't showing up. It is... Where's it at? Let's find it. Right here. Visalia, California to Atlanta, Georgia. 156-mile deadhead. Man, they're really trying to move this Montana load. The load board has just been spammed with this crap load for Montana. It's a multi-stop load. There's like 2 extra stops on it. It's paying $7,500 to go. Actually, it's paying $8,000, a little over $8,000 to go 1,000 miles. It's paying $7.94 per mile. And they can't move the load. If I saw something like this on USA Trucks load board, I would be throwing a fucking party. I'd be dancing in front of the truck. I'd turn the headlights on. I'd be out there and I'd be recording it. I'd be dancing and, you know, doing my stuff out there. Yeah, but do I want a soda or do I want milk? Do I think I'm going to be going to bed soon? Let's stick with milk. Leave my options open. I think it's time to toss that cup. I use cups for long periods of time, so I don't go through as many of them. This is my big bag of cups. Let's grab a new cup. And we got a new gallon of milk to pop open. Not really feeling Atlanta, especially for only $9,000. If it were like 11, over 11, I would be thinking about it. What would be the route to Atlanta? Atlanta, I would definitely want to take the 40. And then like the 22 across to Birmingham, and then is it the 22 or the 20? Yeah, the 20 over to Atlanta for Birmingham. Yep. Where the shit is Visalia? It's got to be really far south. Let's look at the map and find out where Visalia is at. Ooh. That is pretty sweet. Right there's Visalia. Man. That is nice. That would be a pretty sweet run to Atlanta. Because I just continue going down the 99 I'm already on. Snag that load in Visalia. And then dip on down to Bakersfield, 58 across to the 40. And then just run the 40 all the way over to Memphis. I need to get a DOT inspection done on my truck in the next 2 weeks. So on my way over, I could stop in Oklahoma City and have Sweets, one of the mechanics at the TA. He's the one that did my last DOT inspection. I could have him do my DOT inspection as I'm driving through. He works Sunday through... He has Friday and Saturday off, so he works Sunday through Thursday. Huh. I don't mind going over to the East Coast. I would much rather run the 10. But I'd be willing to take the 40 over to the East Coast, but it's got to be a lot of money. It's got to be over 11 for me to go all the way over the East Coast. Because I can get like $10,000 loads going almost halfway. Why in the hell would I go all the way over to the East Coast for less money than what I can get to go halfway across the country? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how they're pricing these loads. Like, let's take a look here. Findlay, Ohio. Fremont, California to Findlay, Ohio is paying $9,500. I would probably rather go to Findlay, Ohio than Atlanta, Georgia. How far is it? What's the mileage on the one down here to Atlanta? Where the hell is it at? Right here. 2256. Findlay, Ohio. 2362. So it's actually a little bit longer mileage to Findlay. But $4 a mile, $4.02 a mile versus $3.99 a mile. Let's sort by rate per mile. Ignore this Jimmy over at CGI with his stupid line haul runs. This line haul run does not pay $10.84 per mile. It is not 747 miles, and it does not pay $8,100. Even per week, it does not pay $8,100. These line haul runs pay $2.25 per mile, and you get 70% of that. I've called Jimmy like 3 times over this bullshit, and I've asked him why in the hell he lists the loads like this. Why are you listing these loads as paying $11 per mile when they pay like $1.50 a mile? And he's like, oh, I don't do that. That's Landstar. I put all the correct information in there. Landstar is the one that, messes it all up. I'm like, yeah, sure, Jimmy. I believe you. So, the Findlay, Ohio run is the best big money run as far as rate per mile. It's probably the best as far as the market that it's going into and everything. Let's check here. Loads at destination 93. And is this the Atlanta? Loads at destination 47. I thought I heard a beep. So there's twice as many loads. Now, what does this loads at destination mean? What it's doing to come up with that number is it's taking my current search filters and it's applying them to that area. So this load delivers in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's taking all of my current search filters and it's just replacing Stockton, California, which is a city I have set right now, with Atlanta, Georgia. So it's a 350-mile radius around Atlanta, Georgia, which is what I have. No. What do I have my current? I think I have my current search set up to 250-mile radius. Whatever it is. So they're just using my current search filters, and they're using it from the delivery date. So it would be from the date this delivers on the 28th. So, yeah, Atlanta is much, much worse than Findlay, Ohio, because there are more loads posted on the board that pick up same day than any other day. So the further you get away from today, the fewer loads there are on the board. So the most loads that are on the board are for today, the second most loads are for tomorrow, so on and so forth, etc. Barring weekends, most likely. But this load is set up to deliver tomorrow. So it's looking for loads that pick up tomorrow or later in Atlanta. But on the Findlay, Ohio, it's looking for loads that pick up November 1st or later. And it still has twice as many results in Findlay, Ohio. So Atlanta is not like a very good market in comparison to other good markets around the country. I've heard that Atlanta used to be like a really amazing freight market, and Savannah, Georgia used to be a really amazing freight market. But dumbasses that used to just haul cheap freight out of Florida realized that it's much more efficient. They make more money if they deadhead out of Florida and grab loads out of Savannah, Georgia, or Atlanta, Georgia. So it's much more cost effective to just deadhead out of Florida up to Georgia to pick up a load rather than haul some dollar a mile crap out of Florida. A lot of people have started realizing that, and I've watched some videos and read some posts and articles and stuff that said that because more people are doing that, it's driven down the rates in Georgia. So a lot of people are deadheading up to Georgia to pick up loads, and it's driving down the rates there. Alright. Let's do new since last. San Leandro to Fort Worth. $6,900, $4.12 a mile to go 1,700 miles. I'm not going over to San Jose or San Francisco or any of those other towns over there in the Bay Area. Oakland, I'm not going over to the Bay Area to pick up a fucking load. That place was a nightmare 20 years ago, and it's probably only gotten worse since then. I don't want to go over there and deal with that congestion. Are those Air Force? Yeah, here they are. This person right here. You see all these Reno, Nevada to Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi? The broker on this load has been harassing me on this damn thing. Well, this is weird. So this agency has it listed as a direct contract load. It's direct freight. It's contract freight. And then there's some other agency that has it listed 5 times. 5 times for the exact same price. And then there's another agency that has it listed for $1 cheaper. And all of them have it listed as like spot market or indirect freight, except this one up the top. Let me see which agent it was that was sending me emails and text messages and calling me and shit. No, not that one. Did I delete it? I think I might have deleted it. I know he texted me as well. So it was Cody with a 210 441. So he's this agency right here, this CYY agency, the second agency that has it listed like 5 times. He's the one that was messaging me about it. Some of these agents, I just don't understand their thought process on like coming up with what to charge for a load or what they think they can move a load at. Because you'll have the exact same agent offer you 2 loads that are pretty much identical. Like this guy, he offered me 2 different loads that were nearly identical. The exact same mileage. Both of them were picking up out of Reno, I think. And one was going to Mississippi and the other one was going to Indiana. And one of them was paying almost $2,000 less than the other one. One was paying like $6,000. The other one's paying $7,800. Like $1,800 difference. It's like, what's wrong with you? Why is there such a big difference in price between these loads? San Leandro to Fort Worth. I think that's that same load getting reposted. There was as I was skimming through there, I saw a Topeka, Kansas. I think it was Sparks, Nevada to Topeka, Kansas. Yep, there it is. Damn it. Just not a good load. San Jose to Oklahoma City. I'd go right back home if I wanted to. Not doing that. Nope. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of load alerts. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I've been up for a really long time. I think I'm going to end up just going to bed, and it's Wednesday. As we get closer and closer to Friday, they're going to get more desperate to move loads, and there will be a lot more really good loads. And the thing is that, well, another thing to consider is that there are certain days of the week where these brokers will get like loads. So take Joplin, Missouri, for example. I live in Oklahoma City. One of the places I look for loads to leave the house on is Joplin, Missouri. And there might be 3 or 4 days where none of those Joplin, Missouri from that particular shipper are posted. None of those Joplin, Missouri loads will be posted for 3 or 4 days. And then all of a sudden, there'll be just 20 or 30 of them posted on the load board. So, and I don't really know enough about it to know like the exact schedule of when those loads are posted, but the point I'm making is that the load board isn't just a constant flow of loads in. There are, times when there's just a shipper will drop a whole bunch of loads out there. So right now there's not a lot of movement on the board, and I'm not wanting to put myself in a position where I'm just going to grab whatever in the hell's there. I'm a patient person. I'll sit around and wait for a whole bunch of really good loads to hit the board. When there's a whole bunch of good loads that hit the board, there'll be 5 or 6 at least loads over $11,000 on here. Though, there's already been a $13,500 load that I almost got. Really don't want to go to Detroit, Michigan, though, so I'm kind of glad that I did not get that load. But it would have been a fairly easy load. I'm pretty sure it was just an empty trailer. But they couldn't answer that fucking question. It's so irritating. Like, how can you not be able to answer like a question of like, what am I hauling? You're hauling customer equipment. Okay, what is the customer equipment? I don't know. How much does it weigh? I don't know. Okay. I don't really know what to say. Are you interested in the load? No, thank you. That's about how the call went. That's my first call to them. That's how it went. They couldn't answer. Well, I talked with 2 different people, and neither of them could answer my questions. So, yeah, that's how the first call went. But the load was available then. If they would have been able to answer my questions, I might have booked it. They're reposting the San Jose to Ashburn, Virginia. This is what the damn agents will do, is they'll just keep reposting loads. Are those reposts or are they new loads? Oh, they're different dates. So there was already a San Jose to Ashburn, Virginia that was picking up today. They just listed it for tomorrow and the next day. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that there's 3 loads, one that picks up today, one that picks up tomorrow, and one that picks up the next day. If they have a lot of flexibility on the pickup, instead of doing a pickup date range, what some of these agents will do is they'll just list the load multiple times with multiple different days that you can pick up. The load that I just delivered, that's what the agent did on this load. The load that I picked up from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I took to Sacramento, California, it had a pickup listed of like, shit, I can't remember what day I picked it up. I picked it up on the 22nd. The load was listed 3 times on the load board, picking up the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. 3 different loads, 3 different pickup dates. But it was actually all the same load. You could just pick it up whenever you wanted. It was a preloaded trailer. They hadn't scheduled the pickup yet, so you could tell them when you wanted to pick it up. I told them I wanted to pick it up Friday night, and they said, all right, I'll let Ream know, and they'll have it ready by Friday night. So they loaded the trailer Friday during the day and had it ready by 2 p.m. So, yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean there's 3 loads. They're just trying to get more visibility on their load by listing it multiple times. Now, I am a little concerned that I'm not getting alerts on these loads. Let me look at the details on these loads and try and figure out why in the hell I'm not getting alerts. So my alert is set up for loads over $8,000, loads over $3.30 per mile. Wait a second. I take that back. I think my load alert is set up at like $4 a mile. I might need to drop that down a little bit. I have to do the load alert on the phone app because I have it set up to do phone alerts, and you can't set up phone alerts through the web app. I've got it set at $3.85 a mile, and this load is $3.59 a mile. Alright, let's change it to 3.5. $3.50 a mile minimum. And you know what? I have not been looking in the Los Angeles market. Los Angeles is like 400 or 500 miles south of here. I don't really want to deadhead all the way down to LA to pick up a load, but what if there's like a $20,000 load sitting down in LA? Hell yeah, I'll deadhead down there for that. So let me pause this and let me check LA. Alright, I increased my search radius to 500 miles, and that should pull in all the LA loads. And I also told it to only show loads over $8,000 because there's just too many results. There's still 250 loads showing up over $8,000. So, Gardenia to Santa Ana, California. 3,700 miles. That is insane. Where is it going? Yeah, fuck that. So it's two different loads. The first load is picking up in Gardenia, California, and it's going to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 15,000 pounds, lighting accessories. That's not a bad load. The second load, though, is dog shit. It picks up in Maple Plain, Minnesota, and then goes to Santa Ana, California, and it's 40,000 pounds of hazmat. And you can see down here the pickup and delivery dates are already gone. So this load, they've been trying to move it for a while because their pickup and delivery dates they have in the comments are already passed. So, yeah, people aren't falling for this crap load. Yeah, there's nothing amazing. Well, I mean, there's a lot of good loads down in the Los Angeles area, but there's nothing that's so crazy good that it's worth deadheading down there. There's similar loads up here. There's $9,000 and $10,000 loads up here. I'm not going to deadhead 500 miles to pick up a $9,000 or $10,000 load down there. And let's see what this three-stop nonsense is for $11,000 out of Vegas. There's multiple stops in New Jersey. 3 extra stops in New Jersey. So you pick it up in Nevada, then you do a bunch of local delivery in Jersey, and then you go down to South Carolina, and it's listed as show freight. So it's for some kind of show. So you're not part of the tour, but you're helping move equipment for some show. Yeah, that's a really terrible load. Why in the hell would I take a load that's going to Jersey? It's going over 3,200 miles, paying 11 grand with a whole bunch of extra stops on it. Well, you can take something that's going like 2,200 miles, paying about the same money. It's just craziness. Alright, let me change my search parameters because LA isn't worth it. Alright. We're back looking at a 250-mile radius around Stockton. I think I'm going to go ahead and hit the sack because even if I found a load right now, I probably wouldn't feel like going and picking something up. There's a lot of good freight on the board, but I think I can do better than what's there. So I think I'm just going to crash out. I brought my Xbox with me this time. I normally just have my old PlayStation in here. NCAA football is one of my favorite games to play. And the last time they made NCAA football was NCAA 14 for the PlayStation 3. And I have my PlayStation 3 in here with NCAA football. That's the console. I have an Xbox One XS or whatever it is, Series S or something. It's not the latest and greatest Xbox, but I hardly like the console that I play the most is my PlayStation 3 because of NCAA football. So I did bring my Xbox with me, though. I have Madden 21 or whatever the latest Madden is on there, and I have the latest like MLB The Show. I mainly just play sports games on console, and I do computer. I use a computer to play everything else. So maybe I'll lay in bed and play some baseball or some football or something. And I still have my load alert set up on my phone, so if some awesome load pops up, it'll chime in and I can take a look at it. But I think I'll go ahead and upload this. This is just an update of what's going on with me. The freight market is still good over here on the West Coast, but it doesn't look like it's quite as awesome as it was whenever I booked the loads coming over here. But I'm not going to have any issue finding a really good load to get out of here on. And I got into a pretty good place to park. They don't have showers here, but I took a shower this morning. Or was it this morning? No, it was last night. It was like 7 p.m. last night. So I'm good to go for a couple of days on the shower. So I should have a load booked by Friday. And so I might be sitting here and camping out and playing video games and watching TV for the next couple of days. And I don't mind that at all. I'll just set up my load alerts, and if there's a really awesome load that pops up, then I'll be heading out of here. Now the goal is going to be to find something better than that load I passed on, that $13,500 load. I highly doubt that I'm going to be able to get something that pays better than that load, but overall, I might be able to find a better load than that one. I really didn't want to deal with going to Detroit, number one, going back across 80, number two, and then all the drama of dealing with a customer trailer. Who knows what kind of condition it's in. I'd have to do a thorough inspection, check all the paperwork on it and everything. And if I had any issues with it, then I'm going to have to deal with third-party vendors. And it's like whenever I did that dedicated run where I was hauling containers, I had an email sent to me that I printed out that had the phone numbers of like the on-call mechanic and stuff like that if I had any issues with the chassis. There was a whole bunch of extra shit that I had to deal with. So I really don't like hauling customer equipment. There's a whole lot of extra crap you have to deal with. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and end the video and just hang out for the rest of the day. The air conditioner is doing amazing. It's keeping up with it really well. What's the temperature here? Temperature. Let's do Stockton, California. 66 degrees. Well, I hope the air conditioner can keep it nice and cool in here when it's 66 degrees outside. 2-mile-per-hour wind. Yeah, there was almost no wind when I was outside a minute ago. It was amazing. I hate wind so much. So yeah, it's really nice outside. It's nice and cool in here. Oh, I'm wanting to crawl up under the covers right now. I'm just trying to decide, do I want to play college football? Do I want to play Madden professional football? Or do I want to play baseball? Huh. That's the decision I got to make. Or I could just watch a movie or something. I'm actually so tired that I probably am not going to want to play a video game that's going to require concentration. So I'll probably just start up a movie and just lay there and watch it until I pass out. So I hope you're having a great week. I hope things are doing really well for you. Everything's good with me, and there was a lot of drama getting this load to Sacramento. The psycho that followed me for I don't know, 2 hours across Nevada that I had to call Highway Patrol on. One of the places I delivered to in Denver was in really, really tough back. Let me actually show you that. Where's Denver? Denver up here. So down in Centennial. And let me try to remember how I got there. I'm not going to be able to remember. RDS, Centennial, Ream Distributor, Centennial, Colorado. That looks like the place. That is the place. Alright, so came in here from this direction, came in from the west, and I parked right here along the roadway and then walked around the building over here to the shipping and receiving office because I could tell from the satellite view that this place was really tight, and I had no idea what in the hell their expectations were about where I was going to deliver. Well, they told me it was going to take about 30 minutes for them to get all of the vehicles out of here. They had to clear out all of the vehicles from all of this area for me to have barely enough room to back in. So what I had to do is I didn't have enough room inside here to turn around. So what I did was I backed in off the street, backed all the way back here, and their dock is like right here. It's this last little spot right here. And as you can see, they've got shit piled up all along through here. So it's like having a wall on this side over here. And then where I'm backing into is a it's like this picture is not updated. I don't think it is. It's sunk in. So the place where I was backing into was like down a ramp. So there were guardrails and all kinds of stuff. It was barely wide enough for my trailer to fit in. So it was a really, 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 really tight back into here. And then they had all this shit piled up along the side here, so I had no room to do anything on this side. So it was a complete blindside back that was really, really tight. I got out and looked probably 30 times to back in there. And then once I was fully backed into the dock, the front of my truck, like my steer tire, was about a foot from the edge of the road. There was no room in front of my truck. So it was one of those blindside backs where you couldn't pull up to straighten up. You had to just turn in perfect so that it just lined up. You couldn't just kind of like get it in there and then pull up and straighten up and stuff like that. You had to just turn it in perfect to where it just, everything just, you had to be perfect basically. And he told me, he sat there and watched me back in, probably to see if I hit something, because I suspect they have people hit shit all the time because of how tough this back is. And on about my 10th get out and look, he was like, "You're doing this a lot faster than most people." I forgot how he worded it. He was like, "You're getting in there a lot faster than most people." And I was like, "Yeah, we're getting there, slowly but surely." I said it's better to take your time and not hit something, because if you hit something, it takes a lot longer. So, yeah, I did like 30 get out and looks. I would just back up a couple of feet, get out and look. Back up a couple of feet, get out and look. And I got it in there first try without any, like, I didn't have to redo my initial setup. I got it in there in my initial setup. and it was such a pain in the ass. But the people there were super incredibly nice, like crazy nice. But this place was a huge pain in the ass to back into. Oh my goodness, it was such a pain in the ass. And yeah, the street was just packed with cars. All these businesses, none of them have enough parking for their employees. So all their employees park up and down the street, which makes it a really narrow street. There were people parked like all the way up to right here. There was somebody in this spot right here that I had to back around to get into here. Like, it was so fucking tight. Oh my goodness. But yeah, there was quite a bit of drama getting this load to Sacramento. But it's over and done with. I don't remember how much money I made on it. Let me pause this and I'll calculate it up real quick. Alright, the exact amount of money that I made total gross to the truck on that load was $5,573.36.5. I don't know how they're going to do that half cent. So we'll just round it down since they can't make up, an extra half penny. So $5,573.36 is what I made on that after the percentage cuts. It paid a little over $8,100 total line haul. So yeah, all right. I think it's movie and nap time. Old man got to get some sleep. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. And be safe out there. Winter is here. Be safe. Don't try to be a super trucker. Ever. Don't ever try to be a super trucker. But especially, don't throw your cape on and go full super trucker in winter weather. It will not end well. So be safe out there. Have a good one. Bye.